Your life sucks because you're a good person in a bad economic system. Now, what do I mean by this? Narcissism wins in capitalism. If you look at any politician, a celebrity, or maybe even your favorite actor or business person, they are so selfish. And that selfishness to a certain extent gets to this like narcissistic ability and perception about themselves. And if you just listen very closely to any of these people in these high-end routes, you'll see how, self-filled they are in a way. They're just literally full of themselves. And even actors, they could be probably the worst of the worst, or just anyone in some sort of like sports or whatever. They think the world just revolves around them. Why this is important, why this is a problem, is because when you're self, you're looking at the world of like, oh man, the world's bad and blah, 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 and yada, yada. You're just letting yourself get walked over. And what I mean by that is, how many times does someone call you, they need something, and you're there to answer? Probably a good amount. And if not, maybe you're helping in something else. And most of these people, it's usually, I don't have time, or blah, 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 or it's about them and not about the situation. That's a major problem. I actually have one funny story here. I'm coming back one time from a trip, and I'm on a phone call with someone, and I'm telling them about, there's a massive storm that just happened in our hometown. People are probably hurt, there's probably massive major issues, you name it. I can't make this up. This person on the phone goes, I hope my hot tub was covered. Out of all the people that are hurt, food shortage, or any issue, you're worried about your hot tub. That is one example out of probably hundreds that I've met with people that are successful in some way, and especially financially or fame. So before you think that friend is a friend, pay very close attention between the transaction rather than the emotion and times that are hard if they're there for you, as well as that celebrity or politician or whoever you look up to as inspiration. Pay close attention to how self-consumed they are. Because 9 times out of 10, they are extremely narcissistic. I've literally had this pattern for years now. I was like, there's a massive pattern with these successful people and being so full of themselves in some way. And even if it's not to the extent of a negative fact, they have to still have that self-belief, and that's what gets them far. But the separation from the bad narcissist to the people that are just kind of self-absorbed for a greater purpose is, are they only focused on themselves at all times, or are they just focused on themselves to get a mission done? Because that's a massive difference between a narcissist rather than a person that is just, self-belief or confident. Because people can mistake the confidence for arrogance as well a lot. But just kind of listen to podcasts, listen to long form, not just the scripted stuff. And then you'll actually start to see the little nuggets that kind of come out that are very true about a person. So basically psychoanalyze these individuals. And how this is going to help you, I don't want you to just have anxiety thinking, oh my God, your life's over because you're a good person in a world that's ran from psychopaths, sociopaths, or narcissists. How can you win? The answer to that is you have to be a little bit selfish before you can be selfless. My mother was a perfect example of this. For a little bit. She was only about just herself in the beginning because she had us kids and she was working 2-3 jobs. She had to get on her feet. She could only focus on herself and building a family. But then she got taken advantage of. Then she was almost too selfless. She wanted to give with a lot of religion and donations and family and friends, etc. And then she had nothing. When she passed away, it was crickets. So that is a very cold story that I can say personally of seeing what the world does to a person that is too giving. You have to be just giving of what you can actually afford. That's financially, that's your energy, that's everything. Give just enough and everything's gonna work out. But if you give too much, that's a negative. And if you don't give anything, that's also a negative. So moderation always wins with everything in life. What's really funny is one of the most successful men that ever walked this planet had said this. Millionaires study psychology and billionaires study astrology. So kind of goes back to this narcissism. A lot of narcissists, they manipulate with the EQ that they have, the emotional intelligence. They want to take advantage of knowing how people operate for their own benefit, for their own fun, for their own game. They just want to win, okay? But then billionaires, they're doing it for the bigger thing. And you watching or listening to this, if you're a good person truly at heart, you only know that, I don't, then how you can actually make this mind shift to actually be in your favor and not be in competition with these people is your subconscious. Knowing that you don't want to do things for yourself because you're not selfish, or maybe you are, but if you're not, set that for your future kids. Set that for your family now. Set that for your friends around you. I struggled with this in the beginning. When I lost my mother and family and financial ups and downs, I got to that point intellectually and mentally where I'm like, what's the point? There is no point. And then I was like, I need to shift this. So then my subconscious was always, before my mom passed, was for my mom. It was always to prove my dad that you left a kid that's gonna be successful without you. And this mindset then shifted even when my mother passed away, is okay, then I'm gonna devote my life for my future wife, my future kids, etc. Because if this was just for me, I wouldn't be here today. So if you're a good person watching or listening to this, just shift that. Make sure your subconscious and emotion towards your goals are for the greater purpose of people that are bigger than you, that you love. Because then you're gonna have that motivation. You're gonna get up and you're gonna get after it. You're not gonna be pessimistic. You will be optimistic and you will outperform these people. Because now you're going for legacy. You're not going for just that fast car, that alcohol, that party, or that new flashy new girl or boy. And you will win in the long run. Wealth and happiness will always go back in the lap of people like yourselves. And if you are selfish, and you know maybe you are the person that is more narcissistic or prone to that, that is fine, but just don't hurt good people around you just for your own enjoyment. And if that is you as well, then it's actually easy for you in this society. Set that goal as that fast car. Set that goal for money. Set that goal for the first principle of things, because you're gonna get there. You're gonna probably run over a lot of people, but just I hope you actually use that perspective that you have, that disassociation, in a positive and not a negative in this world. And lastly, your brain is just like a computer, but it's only what you do with this computer to see what you want with your search engines and what you actually get out of the performance with this computer. And what I mean by that is your perception, your conscious, your subconscious, and what you want. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, you have to have a plan, you have to have direction, and your brain starts to turn off all these blinders and becomes a magnet, just like law of attraction. The more you chase, the more it gets away from you. You chase money, grows a pair of legs, runs away from you, right? You chase that girl that you're not the guy that's deserving of her, she's running away from you. She laughs at you, right? But if you create that guy that's deserving of it, you're the magnet. The girl that you always loved, or the girls, or the boys, whatever it might or may be, start going after you. The money that you wanted that was so hard and it was like, man, I would die for it and I just would kill for this car, starts to come after you and you're like, whoa, it wasn't ever about the girl. It wasn't ever about the money. It was about me. I had to solve who I am, become the person, and then all of those things that I wanted externally just came. Everything you want in this world is already on this earth. But your world is your brain. The earth is the logistic. It's the physical. You can create that, but it's you. It's a you now versus the dream you. You got to figure out what that is that you want, find your inner self, figure out what you're good at, what you're bad at, yada yada, and everything's going to align. You're just going to shine up and create this amazing magnet that just gets everything you ever wanted. Once you obtain all the things that don't matter, you will lose all the things that do. That is your time, that is your family, that is your friends, unfortunately. So if there's any piece of advice I can give you from my experience, is take out that girl to dinner, your girlfriend. If there's an argument or something, just bite your tongue, okay? It's not gonna be the end of the world. Take your mother or father out to dinner, because if you don't, you're gonna regret that. Just because you're too busy, you have a job or career or your relationship, that's excuses. Because if there's one thing you will never regret, is if you do these things, you won't be on your deathbed saying, I wish I would have went out to get food less with my parents. I wish I would have expressed my emotions enough to my friends and people I loved. I wish I wouldn't have given so many gifts to people that I actually cared about. That sounds foolish. You do that, your regrets are going to be minimal. And then you're going to be fulfilled, and then you're going to be happy. Happiness is the present moment, my friends. But with that is the conclusion of all of this. I hope this helped in some way, shape, or form. If you're a narcissist, screw you, but also you win in this capitalist society, so pick your things that are flashy. And if you're not, then this video I hope helped in some way. But until next time, my friends.